Well, you know what? I am going to make another video where I go into specifically what I was thinking about saying with this really generally just plugged at martial arts and self defense because I want to talk about the Taekwondo tenets of courtesy versus indomitable spirit. Or maybe tie in courtesy, indomitable spirit, and self control. But what I'm talking about right now, a lack of Jesus, I think that a big problem that people have is that there is just a lack of Jesus. And what I'm specifically talking about is that I guarantee you there's at least one person that's going to think that I am just talking about them because there always is. And no, this is not directed at any one person because it's happening so much that I'm making a video about it. When I make a video about something, even if like one event inspires it, it's because that event is just an example of stuff that I've seen like billions of times. When I'm talking about a lack of Jesus, in this context, I'm talking about how people just can't let stuff slide. Like how Jesus told people to turn the other cheek. Well, I would say tells. That's what my particular religious belief is, that he's still alive in the spirit. It's like people cannot let things go ever. It seems like these days, if they think somebody has done something or said something to offend them, they can't ignore it. It's like there is an ability, there is an inability to ignore any slight at all, like ever. I understand I don't want to be a doormat. I don't want to be a punching bag. That's fine. I get that. I get, stand up for yourself. Don't let people abuse you or be abusive. That's fine. That's common sense. But there are people that just can't let things go. And it's two things that's come to me right now. One thing is that people can't let things go. Actually, it's three things. One thing, people can't let things go. Number two, people really can't pick their battles. Oh no, no battery. People really can't pick their battles. And no, oh man, now the third one escapes me. People can't let things go. People can't pick their battles. And people want to win every single conflict. They have to feel like they come out as a victor or that they have to come out on top. And if you always have to win every conflict and every confrontation, if you don't just try to resolve things for the better, you're going to be bumping heads with people all the time. It's like people can't ever admit that they're wrong. It's like people are looking to be offended. They're digging to find offense. It's to the point where it's like a lot of times you can't even say or mention a person's name without them automatically assuming that it's negative. And if someone like tries to correct you, you automatically try to just force or say or prove yourself right rather than just taking an L. That's what we used to call it back in the day. It's like people can't take an L. Just take it. Sometimes just take an L. Just say, hey man, my bad. I'm sorry. I literally one time, I will say this, I kept from being unalived because someone, and this was, oh my, it's literally been decades now. Someone tried to provoke me to wrath, and any reasonable person in that situation would have been provoked to wrath. I would say 95% of the population would have been provoked to wrath in their situation. But It was actually kind of when martial arts training saved me because the person actually technically physically assaulted me, but I could literally take the impact because it just did not hurt me physically, like at all. And I just was just like I literally not have time to deal with it. So I apologized when this person was like really wrong, and I, it kept me from from something worse happening because I later found out that person was just trying to provoke something so they could have an excuse to unleash. And I think because in this society, the Jesus's idea of turn the other cheek is seen as weak or soft, or it's not alpha, or it's not assertive, and like I'm not a slave, or you're not going to oppress me, and or anything like I have the right and all this other stuff. I think it's how whatever or however you come at things or how you see it, a lack of Jesus willing to have you turn the other cheek initially. There's one part in the Bible too. I think it says, "How many times, if your brother offends you, if your brother offends you 7 times, then can I retaliate?" And I think Jesus says, "If your brother offends you 7 times, 7 in the same day, then yes, you can do something." So literally, that's like if somebody offends you 49 times in a row, fine, you can do something. I think anyone would agree to that. Most people probably, if there's somebody offended you more than 3 times in a row, physically, you would attack. The law even says that you're allowed to use same force for same force. But it's really it's especially the news story that I'm thinking about that's connected to this thing. Like, and I'm not going to say because people are going to, if I talk about the news story, everybody on whatever side is going to think that I'm trying to justify the side that they don't agree with if I gave my actual view. And then the person who I would take up for, who I do take up for in the story, no one would hear that I'm doing that. Because whenever I talk to people about that offline, nobody hears that the person I stick up for in that story, the person I feel the most sorry for in that story, that's what I'm saying. They hear their bias. And then no, you wanna blame blah blah blah. Say, no, I don't. And then I have to go back, state it again and again and again. And then it's like, oh yeah, that is what you said, isn't it? So anyway, I wanted to get on here just real quick and say this. I think there's a lack of Jesus. I think we need more Jesus when it comes to interpersonal conflicts. We need to just, turn the other cheek. We need to just say kind things to each other and about each other. That's all. That's it. And I'm going to do a better take on this than just this rambling I just did now. But you know what? If nothing else, I wanted to go ahead and get this out because this is really important. We are looking all over the place a lot of times for wisdoms and solutions. And a lot of times the old fashioned stuff had some solutions already there in it. We don't need to try to like reinvent the wheel. Now that being said, I want to make this crystal clear that just because you don't you don't share my religion, that does not mean that I won't train you. That does not mean I won't train with you. It does not mean that I will not train from you, over you, under you, or whatever. You do not have to be the same exact religion that I am in order for us to have a martial arts exchange. Because as a matter of fact, my previous pastor, before he passed away, his last words to me were, I want you to continue doing what you're doing with the martial arts. So there you go. And where I teach in person is any religion. It's not bound by religion or creed. You just have to act right. That's the restriction. You have to act right. You can't come in there crazy. You can't come in there hollering and hooping and breaking the law and trying to fight and all that stuff. You can't go into like practically any place and do that. So that's the restriction. You have to be respectful. And the thing is, it's not because old me says it. Trust me, there's plenty of people around there that would hem you up before I would even get a chance to say anything. That's just how it is. Okay? That's just how it is. But I will say, there's lack of Jesus. People can't turn the other cheek. People can't, do the Beatitudes. And the first time I noticed this about the Beatitudes, there's some people that don't even know what that is. The Beatitudes. They think that if I say the word Beatitudes, they think I'm saying something negative. I'm gonna actually talk about that and push that into self-defense on a future video. So I've gone on long enough about this. I will say again, I just think there's a lack of Jesus, and I think that if we all had more Jesus, we would do a lot better, and there'd be a lot less, a lot less interpersonal conflict. Yes, I'm aware of the Crusades. Okay, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about trying to force anybody to, follow a certain faith. I'm talking about just demonstrating the virtues that we all attribute to Jesus. Do I have it right all the time? Perfect? No. If you're looking for perfection, please do not look in my direction because I do not have it. It's not here. I'm sorry it's not here, but it is not here, believe me. I'm still learning just like everybody else. Peace. Now, how do I... There we go.